Hey everybody, it's Doug Pollock and my beautiful wife Kristen. We're doing our first ever podcast for our New Day Doug, Finding Your New Day YouTube page. And so, we're celebrating our 9th anniversary this weekend, and I thought it would be a great thing to do to start off by just kind of telling a little bit about our story. So, of course, some of you know that I went to prison on a 20-year sentence and did 10 years, and before I was released from prison, I met my wife while working at a drive-through at a little restaurant that I was helping manage, and for some reason she was crazy enough to fall in love with me after she had a chance to get to know me. And the short version of that is we knew each other for about 2 months, 3 months, and got married 5 days after I was released from prison. And so our wedding anniversary is October the 20th. We were married in 2010, so we're celebrating our 9th year of marriage, as I said earlier. And one thing I wanted to do, just to kind of encourage some people out there that might be, having a hard time in their own marriage, is ask my wife to answer for us and anybody else that might be listening. What were some of the things that she was able to do to really help us work on our marriage and get to this 9-year mark?
For me, it was the moment that I realized I needed to accept Doug for who Doug was, without trying to conform him into who I needed him or I wanted him to be. I just learned to accept him for who he was. Another thing I did was I learned to take care of myself, because nobody else is going to take care of you, and they're not going to ask you either. I learned how to take care of my spiritual, my emotional, my mental, my physical health. And so that was a huge game changer. For Doug and I wouldn't be where we are today if both of us individually didn't go out and seek help, because we both needed it. And I think another thing is I learned that you're not always going to agree, and it's okay. But we both decided that in the heat of those growth opportunities, we were going to do whatever we had to do to protect the relationship, to protect the love, to protect the union, and to protect the communication. So when I became less about trying to be right, but protecting the beauty of what we had, it changed a lot of things too. We became less argumentative, and we still don't agree with everything at all, really.
We agree to disagree.
Yes.
In agreement, though.
Yes. So that's a big thing too, is just to protect. I always want to protect the relationship because it's important.
Yeah, I know one of the things that my wife asked me before she was my wife, when we were just kind of dating and talking and get to know knowing one another, she said, well, what do you think about boundaries? And I think I said something silly or smart. I said, well, I think those are the things that you're supposed to stay within when you're playing football, so you don't go out of bounds and stop the play. And although I said that, I really knew what a boundary was. I knew that it was, not something that was put in place to keep me from enjoying life or having fun, but it was something that was to protect our marriage. So we put our values and our priorities and our relationship and our security in one another, within these boundaries that help us stay focused on what it is about being married that we enjoy so much. And I think today we don't even have to think about boundaries, because those are things that have just been established as the guide for how we live our life. And so it's a very freeing thing to have the opportunity, like she said, to have growth opportunities where you can have them in a healthy way, and you're kind of fighting, but you're fighting fair type of situation.
Yeah. Yes.
And today, so it's 9 years later. Tomorrow, actually, October 20th, 2019 is our 9th year anniversary. But it's 9 years later. I've since been completely released from my incarceration of my 20-year prison term, September 5th, 2019. We have 2 beautiful kids. We have a 6-year-old little boy and a 4-year-old little girl, and they just bring life to our hearts and to our homes. And so, a lot has happened in the last 9 years. We've gone through a lot of things. We've lost a child before birth, and we've had many things that happen in our
About
personal and
bankruptcy.
professional lives. Yeah, we've overcome adversity like bankruptcy. They say like one of the top 3 stressors in a marriage is like financial stressors, moving, and I can't really remember what the other one is. But I know that we've been able to
I
work
think
through
we hit
some.
them all.
Yeah, whatever it is, I'm sure we got it. We can check that off our boxes. So 9 years later, we're celebrating each other. I'm so thankful to the Lord for giving us, the opportunity to meet in a little drive-through window and get to this point to where we're at today. So, we just want to encourage you to stay tuned. We're going to start doing these little short mini podcast type of sessions where we talk about a lot of different things. New Day Doug, the channel, the YouTube channel New Day Doug, is something that we're going to continue to work and to build and to promote, and we think that we're going to be able to make it real diverse. So it's not just going to be about marriage. It's definitely not just going to be about being an ex-con or somebody that just got released from prison. We run a couple of drug and alcohol treatment centers, so it's not just going to be for the drug addict. Really what we hope to do is to be able to target people from all diverse backgrounds and share different things from different perspectives, whether it be from ourselves, individually or collectively, or different outside influences. We think that, God gave us some opportunities by putting some people in our life that have taken us and, blessed us with the career that I have and mentorship. So we're definitely going to be able to give you a lot of things to tune in and check out. And so I want to thank you for this opportunity. I thank my wife for being crazy enough to say yes to a guy that was in prison. I definitely want to thank my friend John Skipworth for giving her the best piece of advice that I give to people every day. 5 days when I got out of prison, about 3 days before we got married, somebody came to her and told her, a bunch of stuff that really wasn't true. And, it was like the enemy was trying to prevent us from getting to where we are today, and definitely prevent us from getting to where we are in the future. And, he looked at my wife and he said, well, I just have one question for you. If knowing everything you know about Doug Pollock today and knowing that it would never get any better and it would be exactly like it is, no improvement, no changes, would you be willing to spend the rest of your life with that Doug Pollock? And what'd you say? Yeah. So we're signing off. Thank you, John Skipworth. We'll be back.